I felt like if you look in the literature from the 60s and 70s, like there wasn't so much consensus on what boxes and lines you would put in the high-level diagram of the human mind. Like now we're all pretty confident you got like working memory. Inside that you have like sensory working memory, linguistic working memory. You have declarative memory and episodic memory, which are distinct from that. You have sensory memory, which has certain properties, and procedure learning is somewhat different than declarative learning. And this decomposition of human-like thinking into different processes seemed to become broadly acknowledged, like by the mid-late 1980s, and then by the late 90s was considered obvious and boring. But I mean, this was a significant discovery. That
took a while to get there.
Well, yeah. It was a lot of really tedious cognitive psychology experiments to get there, right? And I mean, I spent a few years in the late 90s working in a psychology department in University of Western Australia before I left academia. And, you know, I was teaching neural nets and recurrent back propagation, deep neural nets, recurrent back propagation and so forth. But I was also getting involved a little bit in doing laboratory psychology experiments. And it became clear, like, how incredibly tedious it is to design and do an experiment to measure some little simple thing about how like episodic long-term memory and working memory work together and so forth. So on the one hand, it's hard to understand like which types of memory and learning and processing and reasoning take place in the human mind, how they're distinct from another. On the other hand, because that knowledge was hard won and is kind of interesting, then some people start to think, well, okay, if we just make a system that kind of has the same boxes and lines in it, like it has the same processes at some high level, like it has an episodic memory, it has a working memory, it has procedure learning, it has reasoning, and slap that together with a wiring diagram that looks vaguely like the diagram in the cognitive psychology book, then, hey, we've made real progress toward making a thinking machine.